Welcome to our video on destroying negative thoughts. Do negative thoughts hold you back from living your best life? Many of us struggle with a constant stream of negative self-talk, doubts, and worries that can significantly impact our daily lives and overall well-being. In this video, we'll explore how to recognize and overcome these harmful thought patterns, ultimately leading to a more positive and fulfilling life. Let's start by understanding the power of thoughts. Our thoughts are incredibly influential in shaping our reality. They affect how we perceive the world around us, how we interact with others, and how we feel about ourselves. Every thought we have triggers an emotional response, which in turn influences our actions and behaviors. This creates a cycle that can either lift us up or bring us down, depending on the nature of our thoughts. Negative thoughts can be particularly damaging because they tend to spiral and feed into each other. One negative thought can lead to another, and before we know it, we're caught in a downward spiral of negativity. This can affect our self-esteem, confidence, and overall outlook on life. It's crucial to recognize that these thoughts are not facts, but rather interpretations of reality that we can change. To effectively combat negative thinking, we first need to recognize the common patterns of negative thoughts. These can include all or nothing thinking, seeing things in black and white, with no middle ground. Overgeneralization, taking one negative experience and applying it to all situations. Mental filtering, focusing only on the negative aspects of a situation and ignoring the positives. Jumping to conclusions, assuming the worst without evidence. Catastrophizing, blowing things out of proportion and expecting the worst possible outcome. Personalization, taking blame for things that are not your fault or beyond your control. Should statements, putting unrealistic expectations on yourself or others. Emotional reasoning, believing that if you feel something, it must be true. By learning to identify these patterns in our own thinking, we can start to challenge and change them. It's important to note that these thought patterns often develop over time and can become habitual. Breaking these habits requires patience, practice, and persistence. Understanding the science behind negative thinking can help us approach the problem more effectively. Our brains are incredibly adaptable, a quality known as neuroplasticity. This means that our neural pathways can change and reorganize based on our experiences and repeated thoughts. When we consistently think negative thoughts, we strengthen the neural pathways associated with negativity, making it easier for our brains to default to these patterns in the future. The good news is that we can use this same principle to our advantage. By consciously choosing to think more positive thoughts and challenging our negative ones, we can create new neural pathways that support a more positive mindset. Over time, with consistent practice, these positive thought patterns can become our new default. Breaking the cycle of negative thinking starts with awareness. We need to become more mindful of our thoughts and catch ourselves when we start to spiral into negativity. This doesn't mean we should suppress or ignore negative thoughts entirely. That's not realistic or healthy. Instead, we want to learn to observe our thoughts without judgment and then choose how to respond to them. One effective technique for interrupting negative thought patterns is the stop technique. When you notice yourself engaging in negative self-talk, mentally say stop to yourself. This creates a pause that allows you to step back and evaluate your thoughts more objectively. You can even pair this with a physical action, like snapping your fingers or gently squeezing your wrist, to create a stronger interrupt. Another helpful strategy is to practice reframing. This involves looking at a situation from a different, more positive perspective. For example, if you make a mistake at work, instead of thinking "I'm such a failure," you could reframe it as "this is an opportunity to learn and improve." Reframing doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding a balanced, more constructive way of viewing situations. Positive self-talk is a powerful tool in combating negative thoughts. The way we talk to ourselves has a profound impact on our mood, confidence, and overall well-being. Many of us have an inner critic that's constantly pointing out our flaws and shortcomings. By consciously choosing to speak to ourselves with kindness and encouragement, we can start to quiet that inner critic and build a more positive self-image. To practice positive self-talk, start by becoming aware of your internal dialogue. When you notice negative self-talk, pause and ask yourself, would I say this to a friend? If the answer is no, then it's time to rephrase. Choose words that are supportive, encouraging, and compassionate. For instance, instead of "I can't do this," try "This is challenging, but I'm capable of figuring it out." It's also helpful to use affirmations, positive statements about yourself and your abilities. These can be simple phrases like "I am capable," "I am worthy," or "I can handle whatever comes my way." While it might feel awkward or insincere at first, consistently using affirmations can help rewire your brain to think more positively over time. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful practices that can help us manage our thoughts more effectively. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment. When we're mindful, we're able to observe our thoughts without getting caught up in them. This creates space between us and our thoughts, allowing us to respond rather than react. Meditation is a specific form of mindfulness practice that involves focusing your attention on a particular object, thought, or activity. Regular meditation has been shown to reduce stress, anxiety, and negative thinking while increasing emotional regulation and overall well-being. To get started with mindfulness, try this simple exercise. Take a few deep breaths and focus your attention on your breath. Notice the sensation of the air moving in and out of your body. When your mind wanders, which it inevitably will, gently bring your attention back to your breath without judgment. Even just a few minutes of this practice each day can help you become more aware of your thoughts and better able to manage them. As you become more aware of your thoughts, it's important to learn how to challenge negative beliefs. Often, our negative thoughts are based on assumptions or beliefs that aren't entirely accurate. By questioning these beliefs, we can start to loosen their hold on us. One effective method for challenging negative thoughts is the ABCDE model. A. Adversity. Identify the situation triggering the negative thought. B. Belief. Recognize the belief or thought you have about the situation. C. Consequences. Notice how this belief affects your emotions and behaviors. D. Dispute. Challenge the belief by looking for evidence for and against it. E. Energization. Notice how you feel after disputing the negative belief. This process helps you examine your thoughts more objectively and develop a more balanced perspective. It's not about forcing yourself to think positively all the time, but rather about finding a more realistic and helpful way of viewing situations. Building new habits is crucial for long-term change in thought patterns. Our brains are wired to take the path of least resistance, which often means falling back on old, familiar thought patterns. To create lasting change, we need to consistently practice new ways of thinking until they become our new default. One effective way to build new habits is through the if-then technique. This involves creating a specific plan for how you'll respond to triggers for negative thinking. For example, if I start to feel anxious about a presentation, then I'll take 3 deep breaths and remind myself of my past successes. Another helpful strategy is to create a positivity routine. This could involve starting your day with affirmations, keeping a gratitude journal, or spending a few minutes each day visualizing positive outcomes. The key is consistency. Even a small daily practice can lead to significant changes over time. It's also important to pay attention to your environment and the people you surround yourself with. Our thoughts are influenced by our surroundings, so try to create an environment that supports positive thinking. This might mean decluttering your space, surrounding yourself with uplifting quotes or images, or spending more time with people who have a positive outlook. While working on our thought patterns is primarily an individual journey, seeking support can be incredibly beneficial. Talking to friends, family, or a mental health professional about your struggles with negative thinking can provide new perspectives and strategies. It can also help you feel less alone in your experiences. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. If negative thoughts are significantly impacting your daily life, or if you're struggling with persistent feelings of sadness or anxiety, it's important to reach out to a mental health professional. They can provide tailored strategies and support to help you overcome negative thinking patterns. As you work on changing your thought patterns, it's crucial to celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Overcoming negative thinking is a process, and it's important to acknowledge the steps you're taking along the way. Each time you catch yourself in a negative thought pattern and choose to reframe it, you're making progress. Each time you practice self-compassion instead of self-criticism, you're moving forward. Celebrating progress helps reinforce positive behaviors and keeps you motivated. It also helps shift your focus from what you haven't achieved yet to what you have accomplished. This in itself is a powerful way to combat negative thinking. Remember to be patient and kind to yourself throughout this process. Changing thought patterns takes time and effort. There will be setbacks along the way, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep trying and keep moving forward. Now that we've explored various strategies for overcoming negative thinking, let's talk about taking action. Here are some steps you can take right away to start shifting your thought patterns. Start a thought journal. Write down your negative thoughts and practice reframing them. Create a positivity routine. Choose one positive practice, like gratitude journaling or affirmations, to do daily. Practice mindfulness. Set aside a few minutes each day for mindful breathing or meditation. Challenge your thoughts. Use the ABCDE model to examine and dispute negative beliefs. Surround yourself with positivity. Choose uplifting books, podcasts, or shows to engage with. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd show a good friend. Seek support. Reach out to a trusted friend or consider talking to a therapist. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all negative thoughts. That's not realistic or even desirable. Negative emotions and thoughts are a normal part of the human experience. The goal is to develop a more balanced, realistic thinking style that allows you to navigate life's challenges with resilience and optimism. As we conclude this video, let's recap the key points we've covered. Our thoughts have a powerful impact on our emotions, behaviors, and overall well-being. Negative thought patterns can be identified and changed. Understanding the science of neuroplasticity shows us that we can rewire our brains for more positive thinking. Techniques like the STOP technique, reframing, and positive self-talk can help interrupt negative thought patterns. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools for managing our thoughts. Challenging negative beliefs helps us develop a more balanced perspective. Building new habits and creating a supportive environment are crucial for long-term change. Seeking support and celebrating progress are important parts of the journey. Remember, you have the power to change your thoughts and, by extension, your life. It's not always easy, and it takes time and practice, but the results are worth it. By working on your thought patterns, you're not just improving your mood, you're opening yourself up to new possibilities, stronger relationships, and a more fulfilling life. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it helpful and that you feel empowered to start working on your thought patterns. Remember, every step you take towards more positive thinking is a step towards a happier, healthier you. You've got this.